All right, cool. So today I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about 3D printing. Who knows what 3D printing is? What is it? Perfect. Yes, exactly. So, who knows what 2D is? It's a picture. So if you were like to draw on a piece of paper, that would be 2D. So 3D has a third dimension. You're in 3D. Everything on this table is 3D. We live in a 3D world. So today I'm going to be describing to you exactly what 3D printing involves, including what it is used for. So just to tell you a little bit about who I am, my name is Jillian Mack. I am here from Silverado, California, so I live right down the street, about 30 minutes away. I started working with 3D printers almost a year ago today, and my current position with my company is lead support technician. So I feel like I really came a long way for this. I had no previous experience doing this prior to that, so it's something you certainly catch on to, and it's very addictive. A little bit about the company I'm here from, Airwolf 3D. They are the manufacturers of the desktop printers. If you guys have seen it yet, the 3D printer in the back there is from Airwolf 3D. The company also currently holds the world record of most 3D printers printed at a facility at the same time, which is 157. They also did a large hand donation, printed 20 prosthetic hands, and donated them. So it's really cool company. I really enjoyed being with them so far, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. So how do they work? So 3D printers use filament. The filament is kind of like a strand of plastic. It looks similar to like metal wire. When you melt that filament, it is then extruded through a small little nozzle, and the nozzle is going around in a circle or whatever the design is, and it prints layer by layer by layer. Think of it kind of like toothpaste. When you're putting toothpaste on your brush, if you were to go back, you would have another layer, another layer. Another example, whipped cream. You got your first layer, second layer, third layer, and you just keep going up from there. So that is how the 3D printers work. There's several different types of 3D printers out there. So this one is called FMA. There's going to be other printers out there that do resins. There's some that do metals. There's some that we shall see in a video today that is based off of a powder. So we'll be going over a little bit of those today. So what are 3D printers used for? The movie industry actually loves using them. A few photos here, which I'll be showing you a video shortly on Paranorman. This guy on the bottom right-hand corner is the hand from Iron Man. So you can customize things, and you can also use them as prototypes to have other things that you might want to create and build. So we're going to go ahead and play the Paranorman video for you now.
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
It's a lot of extra work, a lot of extra
It's
steps.
an insane process.
This stuff, it does not move.
Bubby wubby boom. That's not his chin.
On Paranorman, how are we going to animate the faces?
Replacement animation.
Replacement animation.
Replacement animation, where each face is put on and it's a new mouth shape.
That's how you get the most out of your characters.
So 24 mouth shapes will make up a second of vocabulary or emotion.
Actually, we're learning about it in school. Oh yeah!
And one of the big things about taking something out and putting a different object in is how it registers, how it's going to appear like the last one.
Because if you think about having a different face upwards of 12 to 24 times a second.
The color has to be exactly the same. The shape has to be exactly the same. They have to work perfectly.
Yeah, of course. Don't get weird or anything.
These faces are done with a powder printer.
It just lays down a really thin layer of powder until eventually you have a three-dimensional object.
Something like this.
Yeah, something like this.
And you take that face and you dip it into a super glue.
Awesome!
We've already designed them. We know they work. Now we need to make
Thousands and thousands of different facial expressions.
So you have so much stuff to make.
Here's a recipe we used for the film Paranorman. We started out with 8,000 pounds of printing powder.
77 gallons of super glue.
300 puppets.
40,000 faces.
50 stages.
5,000 X-Acto blades.
66,400 rare earth magnets.
729 sheets of sandpaper.
2 gallons of white resin.
25,000 purple nitrile gloves for safety reasons.
You need a massive warehouse.
Yeah, you need a lot of room.
Put those all together and bake for 127 human years. You got yourself a stop motion feature.
Yum.
So what are your guys' favorite toys? Like what? Minecraft, yes, exactly, which we actually have a photo of Minecraft up there. I personally am a huge fan of dragons, so I do all shapes and sizes of dragons. A couple other cool things up here, there's malls that you can print. This one's pretty cool. This one was printed inside of itself. This was all printed at one go. There was no assembly involved in this. So if I just rotate this a little bit, you can kind of see a little bit clearer how it printed. So yeah, so all of these guys were flat on the build plate, and then they all printed together. Really cool. All right, next we have the auto industry. So I actually have here 6-cylinder. So there's actually some prototyping that they do with 3D printers prior to going into real production. Decal stuff too, if you want to be more artistic again. Love doing that stuff. Aerospace, so this would be airplanes. Same concept. They're using it for prototyping. I do have an example here of what we've used for quadcopters. There will be a little photo of this a little bit later to show exactly how we put this together. And space exploration. So space exploration, they're actually starting to 3D print things in space. So instead of having to take tools up with them, they're able to print them while they're out there as they need them. I do have a working ratchet wrench that's backed by my printers if you guys want to check that out after the show. Fashion. Who likes fashion? Woo. So fashion, I mean, there's a large variety of things here. On the left-hand side, this is Sandy, the materials girl. Everything she's wearing is 3D printed. Her shoes, her dress, her jewelry, her purse, her cell phone cover, everything. So there's definitely a lot of different opportunities here, and a lot of people especially like the jewelry concept of this. And last, education. We, as a company, do about 40% of our sales to school districts. We really try to encourage our kids to learn about this technology because it will be a big thing in the future. Kind of like today, everyone has 2D printers, everybody's got computers, everyone will have access to 3D printers. So it's good to start now while it's still developing so that once they're my age, they will be able to use this as a regular thing. So I have a few videos here that I want to show you. This is the OC Maker Challenge. Basically, this is a competition within our school districts. So they're designing these items. They're imagining them, they're designing them, they're 3D printing them, and then they put them into this competition. So we're going to go ahead and play those videos right now.
Hi, this is our skateboard holder, and the reason we designed it is because when you get home and you just throw it on the floor, your parents are going to tell you to pick it up, and you really won't have anywhere to store it. Or if you're walking, you don't want to get dirty because of your skateboard, you've been riding on it, and you just don't want to carry it anymore. This will help you solve those problems.
This is basically a simple design for you to carry your skateboard around. And what you do is you bring the skateboard, and you just slip it through this opening area, and you hold it and walk around with it. And also this so when you slip it on, you basically just hold it from the top and walk around with it. And also has like a small compartment on the bottom for storing accessories, and this compartment is like big enough to store keys, phones, small accessories like skateboard accessories, and also has 2-wheel holders, like it holds wheels like spare wheels for emergencies and stuff. And most importantly, it could be hanged onto a wall, and for skateboard display or anything related to skateboards, hanging on walls or anything like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you ever had the problem when you write with your left hand and your hand gets dirty? Don't worry, the LHB will satisfy your need.
LHB is an abbreviation which stands for left-handed blocker. It is specifically created for all left-handers that seem to have trouble with getting their work smudged. With left-hand blocker, all your palms will be bandaged. All you have to do is to put it around your face
and start writing.
A common problem you may have at parties is that there's not enough space for your cup and plates. While two hands are occupied, you may have trouble doing things like, "Hi, Hester!" "Hi!"
To that is the plate. A plate with ridges where you can connect the cup and the plate together so you can only hold it with one hand. There are multiple ridges under the plate for different cup sizes.
The plate has many functions, such as the straw hole that allows multiple sized straws to fit and prevents food from slipping in.
The plate can easily be washed to be reused or disposable depending on the material.
Well, what is it?
It's the plate.
Well, I have this.
Well, the plate can hold more food.
But what about this?
You can't set that down on the table and you can drink and eat at the same time with the plate.
Left-hander. My favorite is the play cup. I have to say I would love to use that every single day of my life. Just saying. But honestly, there's a lot of ideas in our kids' minds, and it would be so great to be able to get all of them out, not on paper this time, but in actual 3D worlds. I'm sure that are running through your head, ideas that are popping in now that there's this option, this opportunity. In the past, in order to make something like this happen, you would have to do it in a very large quantity. You go, okay, I have this thing, you send it off for production, fork out a few $1 million, no big deal, right? 3D printing is definitely an easier way for everywhere from engineers, artists, and everything to get their ideas out. I want you guys to start thinking about what you use a 3D printer for. I'm going to be asking you at the very end of the show. So other uses for the printers, our next one here is the medical industry. We do have a very, very small hand that displays like a wrist brace. If you wanted to have your children do it, I unfortunately can't even get my thumb in there, it's rather small. But in the bottom right-hand corner there, you can see the hands that we did for the RoboHand event. Like I mentioned, my company donated over 200 hands. So that's our printer in action on that one. The other right one there is organ implants. So they're able to 3D print skin now. It's very, very cool. It is still being worked on. At this time, I think there's only been a liver that has been able to be used for this. But other cool things that they've done with it, they've had a infant that they had to do heart surgery on. So they 3D printed a replica of the kid's heart. They did a test surgery on that heart first before doing the real thing. So it could have very possibly saved the kid's life. If they didn't do the surgery right the first time, they had the opportunity to fix what they did wrong. Whether it's done in art, engineering, fashion, all of these are something that can be implemented using 3D printers. Again, there's the quadcopter I mentioned. It's a different model now, but this was the beginning of that project. If you visit the Airwolf 3D YouTube channel, you can see that puppy in action. The helmet you see there is actually available for you to see at the back of the room here. That one was sanded and then spray painted. So it does have a very realistic look to it, which is super cool. So you are a maker. What would you make today? If you had a 3D printer, I want to hear your ideas. Anyone? A cone? Very good. Any other ideas? A robot, yes. And there's a lot of people out there who are loving the robot idea. Yeah. What was that? Blueprint? All right. 2 more ideas. Yes. What's your idea? Dinosaurs. Oh, yeah. Especially with Jurassic World out right now. All right, last one. Kind of like Paranorman, but for video games? Perfect, I love it. All right, guys, so that's the show. If you do have any questions for me, I will be in the back with the 3D printer in action back there, so if you want to see one in real time, it's there for you guys. Thank you so much for attending.